Some good apple right here. Well, I guess you can tell what today's topic is about. And it's not BlackBerry or Samsung. Yes, this week's about Apple, guys. And they've been pretty naughty lately. Hi guys, it's favorite YouTuber again, Danny Solaru, and you're watching DS Learning Finance. Whoa. Why do I still have this? Yeah. Avoiding taxes is so important when it comes to running a successful company nowadays. And even the biggest companies, it's come to a stage where they even hire out, specifically permanently hire accountants, stockbrokers and even financial advisors just to avoid tax. With the big companies, we're talking hundreds of millions, let alone billions of pounds, dollars, euros, you name it. Tons of money basically can go down the drain to tax, and it's up to the companies to minimize that as much as possible and keep some in their pockets. But one of the most efficient ways to avoid tax as a company from a specific country is to leave that country and go to another country that basically has a lower tax rate. So what you have a lot of companies do is that they establish their headquarters in countries that have specifically low tax rates. And with that said, Apple have been the kings of doing that lately. They established their headquarters in Ireland, just down the road from me. Well, not down the road, but like you have to take a ferry and then, or you can fly and take an hour or two. But yeah, like Ireland's pretty close to the UK. Yeah, obviously it's a separate country, but more or less Northern Ireland's part of UK. But yeah, I'm drifting here. But my point is, yeah, Apple have specifically established their headquarters there just to avoid taxes. But it's caught up with them now. They have to pay. I almost had a heart attack. And I'm 25, I almost had a heart attack, guys. They have to pay 13 billion pounds.
13 billion pounds.
Yeah, 13 billion pounds. Not in 5 years time, not in even a year's time. By the end of this autumn 2018, yeah, they have to pay 13 billion to the Irish government. Yeah, it's peak for Apple right now. Well, apparently the Irish government has been overly loose with taxing Apple, and the European Commission have had to step in and basically put pressure on the Irish government, which have in turn put pressure on Apple to fork out this money. If this was any like small company, it will completely force them into administration and bankruptcy down the line. But this is Apple that we're talking about. Apple is part of the top 10 biggest companies in the world globally. Just to put things into perspective, their net income from 2017 was 48 billion pounds. Yeah, we're talking billions. So when it comes to Apple, we're talking billions. We're not talking millions anymore. Millions is like normal, low money. Billions is what we're talking when it comes to Apple. And with that said, 48 billion pounds. I swear that Bill Gates is worth like 80 billion or something like that. So Apple made half of Bill Gates in like 1 year, basically. Even though they can afford to basically pay the step straight away, it's still gonna be a knock for them nonetheless. They're still gonna feel that dent in their pocket. It's still gonna affect their income statements, their balance sheets, their cash flow statements. It's gonna affect all of that. And what I also noticed is if you look at the net income statements for Apple for at least the last 3 years, yeah, you will notice that there's a reoccurring theme. And what that is they've made on average $50 billion every year. Now, granted, we are talking about billions. This is a lot of money. Some countries don't even have that sort of money collectively, but Apple make that year in, year out. That's their standard. And what that's showing is that their growth is becoming slower and slower and slower because they're starting to reach their ceiling. And now that they have to pay that net income back all at once this year, I can probably say that their net income isn't going to be as low as since like 4 or 5 years ago. Even AMS, the Australian chip maker that makes the chips for the Apple phones, they've alluded that Apple is on the decline now. And with that said, even their own results are falling considerably short of their forecasts. The $1 million question with Apple right now is, have they reached their ceiling? Have they reached the maximum sort of potential that they could ever get to? And are they starting to go now on the decline? That's what investors are thinking right now. If you want my opinion on it is, one, they have more money than they know what to do with it. Like, they're just rolling in money. And two, which is an even bigger factor, is right now Apple is worldwide. So right now Apple's brand is worldwide. When you think about companies that are massive like that, so I'm talking about companies like McDonald's, companies like Microsoft, companies like Coca-Cola, they will withstand the test of time. And Apple falls into that category now. It never fell into it 20 years ago, 10 years ago, but definitely falls into that category now. It is one of them sort of companies, them integral brands that will last a lifetime. I know it's been dark, gloomy and sad. All of the news I've brought to you with Apple, with the FTSE 100, the NASDAQ, all of the American markets, all of the main global markets being down right now. And I know it's looking quite bad, but you got to remember, it's about give and take. The market just moves in a cycle. You're going to have your ups and you're going to have your downs. But the question is, you've got to be able to make some money from it. So how are you going to do it? I hope you guys like my video. I hope you guys like my channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Yeah, I'm watching you. DS, whoa. Bye.